Welcome back, fair travellers. Are you ready to resume the tale? I've got to be sure. This is a written adventure with mature themes intended for adults over 18 years. Please use your discretion, grab a drink, and join us once again at the RollTales table here in Sandpoint. On the last session of Rise of the Remaster, well, what can I say? We had a hell of an encounter, a hell of a fight. The player characters, 2 HP in a dream, hero points of course. So they battled Aurelium and the Rune Well of Wrath, a minor Rune Well of Wrath, as Thumble was able to identify it with a natural 20 using Thessalonian lore. Thumble knew what this thing was, what it did. Sends out pulses of wrath, well, not just wrath energy, sin energy. Rune wells can be assigned to one the sins. It can reach out, influence people, and it can then even draw in souls and empower it with souls. If that person perishes, it's a way that the Runelords actually gained power back in the day, why they were so strong. But this fight was unforgiving. It was tough. I even held back as a GM a little bit. But the player characters have survived. In the end, disposing of the sin spawn that the Runewell created. Appears to be a very familiar soul that made that sin spawn. Surviving the pulses of sheer wrathful energy. Thumble and AJ worked together to disable the Runewell, and once it did, the invisible Illyrium who was piling down on them beat a retreat. The Runewell seemed to mean more to her than anything else. And once that was down and out, this fight was down and out and finished. Alright, let's bring it back in from there. Get the right point at the soundtrack, there we go. We're still technically in counter mode, but I think everything's going to be okay. The last turn was Aurelium, who flew away in sheer anger, seeing the Runewell that seemed to mean more to her than anything else was suddenly deactivated and disabled by Thumble and AJ. It's now technically Thumble's turn in the turn order. You're at dying 2, Thumble. What's your choice for how to get out of this situation?
I reckon I will save our hero points. I'm feeling pretty okay about the 1 in 400 chance that I crit failed twice with halfling luck. I shouldn't have said that.
Don't roll a natural 2.
Yeah, I reckon I'll be okay. Now you said there's actually a 2. Oh my god. Can I delay my turn?
No.
Hey, Blood, stop bleeding for like a turn cycle, please.
20 seconds.
I would like to blood delay, please. Actually, that sounds like a really cool spell. I cast blood delay. I don't take bleeding damage for the next 5 minutes, but come on, Dave. What's the decision?
If you go, is it when you go, as soon as you go to die for you, dead forever?
Yes.
Can I use the hero point, please? I'm frightened.
Bless you, friend. Bless you. Okay, you used the last hero point in the pool from that fight. And Thumble technically stabilizes. AJ, you take a look down on them and you see that they are out of it from Illyrium's, quite frankly, extraordinarily badass dagger throw. But yeah, out for the count. Out of initiative order.
I would just like to say emphasis on bad.
By the way, I'm just going to ask, Haz, what the hell were you going to do with a friggin' rope?
So, my plan was very simple. Very simple. I was going to drop the glaive, take the rope, which, if I remember correctly, the rope is what, 50 feet?
Yes.
Yeah. Take the rope, and I was just going to use my action to swing it above my head.
Yeah.
So, you know, it would be flying, and since most of the party are below, you know, Targray's height, and she was flying, the hope was that the rope would hit.
So you're going to use your rope as a pinging radar?
Yes, I was going to invent radar.
I'll tell you what, that would have been weird as hell, but I would have been down for that, so don't worry. Wow, I like that a lot. But okay, let's bring it back in. So Rudgar, you're technically still standing. AJ, you're still standing. Your other two companions have not, and the rune well has died down and completely died down. What are you doing?
Rudgar will open up this door, I think, so that you can see what has transpired and call out.
Yeah.
Is it over?
Yeah, it's over. It seems like she's flown away.
And for the record, yeah, for the record, for clarification, you all did hear a proclamation about Malfeshnakor being close to being free, and that she was basically going to warn Nualia.
Seems that our enemy's plans continue in motion, but at least we stopped whatever this was for now.
Indeed. Yeah, so I'll lift. I'll set Thumble up, and I'll pop him a healing potion.
So you're going to pop them a healing potion. Go ahead and roll that healing potion, please, Alex.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, use mine because I get 1 free one per day that works like alchemist ones. It'll go away if I don't.
Okay, so
yes, that's 4.
Yeah, so we'll deduct that.
It's already done.
Yep, we'll deduct that from Fumble's pool. Fumble, you are awake and wounded 1.
Well,
yeah. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Oh, thanks. Well done. I figure you must have sorted that out while I was having a nap.
Something came to mind, and luckily it worked. And you'll see that one of my sleeves is just caked in blood from me plunging my hand into the pool.
Oh, I see what you've done. That was good, quick thinking. Where'd you even hear about that?
Oh, it's something I read in some occult book many years ago. It's whatever she hit me with that pool, it sparked such rage in me, it just came to light.
That's the thing about these sins, these Thessalonian gods and Runelords, rather.
Well, it does beg the question. If this is what one of their plans was, it's probably what was affecting the town above.
Fumble.
I don't doubt it, yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder whether...
Oh, sorry. Please continue, Dave.
I wonder whether your chopper and that were the first signs of it.
Now, here's where I'll interject. Thumble, you take a look at the now dead Runewell. Without a shadow of a doubt, you believe. Without a shadow of a doubt. It must have somehow, looking at it in this state, it's once again dead and dormant. And it's probably been that way for a very, very long time. Until something or whatever probably woke it up. Probably why Aurelian was so obsessed over it. And yeah, without a doubt, what this thing can do from your reading, it can influence people's minds. The spark does have to be there. So with the chopper, there has to be some form of tendency that Jarvis Stu already had. But yeah, this thing can take thoughts like that and magnify it by 1,000. You wouldn't also be surprised if Lonjiku Kaijitsu also was affected as well.
A weirdly specific and contemporary reference. If anybody else is watching ReZero, it's like a witch's authority. It, in as much as if there is an Archbishop of Sin around, they do that thing where they enhance that sin's feeling, and it's kind of funny. I've just been thinking about that at the same time. The townspeople are currently under the Archbishop of Wrath's authority, so they're all at each other's throats.
All right. Are we
enemy? Sorry.
No, so it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. That's a very cool reference. Never seen it, but I'm intrigued. So I'll add that to my list. Currently going through Dragon Ball Super. Right. Are we doing anything to help Targray, who's currently out for the count?
Yeah, so Rudgar's gonna call out. Father Targray is still unconscious. I think we could all do with a rest. Do we think it is safe here?
Does anyone else have healing abilities?
Yeah, I've got another potion if we need it. We're probably safe to go back up to the surface now.
I
Unless we
will
want to check that side door.
Yeah, I will also interject once again for mechanics. If you wanted to get back to Sandpoint and get the cathedral to heal you all up as well, considering what you've done this day, there's not going to be a charge and you have the Heroes of Sandpoint status. Father Xantus, for example, can hit you with another blast. I will rule you will be safe to do so. So it's like the old thing at the end of an RPG level. Is there anything else you want to do here before returning to town?
I'm quite intrigued by these two rooms here.
Yes.
The north and the west.
Yes, off in the cathedral room there's two doors that branch off into two different directions.
It's got to be where the treasure is.
Spoken like a true adventurer.
Yep.
Or perhaps some laid plans or information that we could use.
All right.
That makes sense.
So,
So
open it up
I
then.
check the door.
It looks like a very old, empty storage room. It looks like there was once weapons here. You can see armor racks, but one of the weapons that lies broken on one of the racks is that of a Ransuer.
Fair enough.
Is that?
And go on.
I was going to say, is that a Deific weapon?
The Ransuer, no.
Okay.
Come across one before though.
Targray does actually have one on him.
Yep.
Wasn't it the
And
forearm
I'll
goblin?
check to them to the north.
Sure, open it up. Once again, the same again. Old weapon racks, old armor racks, broken, disused, nothing on them. You get the impression that back in the day, when Sinspawn were created in here, they would be kitted up and then just sent on their way.
Is it leather armor or metal armor?
You can't tell from the racks, they're just armor racks. You could just tell looking at them. One rack's a weapons rack, the other rack's an armor rack.
Oh, so there's nothing on there at all?
No. No. If there was any equipment, long gone or long disused.
So it's only that piece of rancio that's left in both rooms?
To the one to the southwest, that has pieces of rancio, but that's it. And I'll be honest, it's not worth taking.
No, if there was broken bits of breastplate and other metals, I would have said back in Sandpoint it could be salvaged and re-smithed into something else towards the town, but I'll cross that note off.
Yeah, it's long gone, unfortunately.
There we go. That's fun.
The loot for that encounter may have flown out the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab the bits of. Actually, do I have it on this character? I was gonna say make some sketches or make some rubbings of this, because at the end of the day, I am a Thessalonian scholar.
I would say that would take 10 minutes, although you can use the time to extend it and drop the DC of the crafting check again.
I can probably come down here in downtime, now that we've cleared it all out.
Potentially. Aurelium did get away.
There's still the isn't there still a corpse of the Sinspawn in here?
Technically, yes, you are right on it.
Oh,
Where'd that
and that's
corpse
got.
go? Oh, right.
It's underneath. And there's nothing of importance on him. Whatever.
No, it was freshly created, wasn't even kitted up. Technically, if you want, I won't. Yeah, basically, it had nothing on it.
Okay.
No.
And it had the fighting style of the Sandpoint Guard you said last session.
Right.
Last two sessions.
Some of these Sinspawns that you fought in this cathedral almost fought with a Sandpoint Guard's fighting style. There were others that were very feral, almost more animalistic. The one that fought in here then, you fought in here, used martial arts, very similar to that Suto employed against you.
Okay, then I will direct a question to Thumble before we leave, as he had the Nat 20 last session on the pool.
Thumble's a they.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Keep forgetting. Thumble, do you think these Sinspawn are forged by the souls taken from the well? So they're repurposed.
That's how they work. Yeah. If there are any of those feelings, rather than go into the boneyard, they get intercepted by these wells, and then you can hook them in, and they're not quite a simulacra. They're an artificial body. Yes, you're right.
So potentially we had fought former guardsmen then. All right then, let's get back up top and inform the sheriff.
Yep.
And get Targray up and running again, as well as Rudgar.
All
Yes,
right.
I think I could carry Targray, but it would be easier if he could walk.
I mean, me and you are about the same height, so we can just shoulder to shoulder and drag him up.
That is true.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too much of an issue now that you're out of danger. All right, so you're all returning to Sandpoint.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go.
I would like to make a quick little correction. The loot didn't fly away. It was temporarily moved to a different point in time.
Sorry, yes, it was temporarily removed to another location. So what we're going to do is we'll take the party token here on the map, which I've decided to use, and here's what's going to happen. Everyone, you'll have to manually do it on your character sheets, but everyone gets regenerated to full as we start with a camera shot. It's about half an hour later, so it's about actually 5:30 in the afternoon. We open with a camera shot of Father Targray opening his eyes on a altar in the Sandpoint Cathedral. Father Xantus looking over him. Feel free to take it from there.
Did we succeed?
No, this is the boneyard. I recently refurbished one of that.
No, I'm pretty sure this is not the boneyard. I don't think Pharasma is one for pranks.
Probably right.
You are safe, Targray. The other two were able to disable the well, who was giving us all that grief, and then our opponent flew away to warn Nualia of our actions.
Xantus shudders upon hearing Nualia's name. Something is definitely not computing with him about this entire situation. But he stops healing you, Targray. Everyone back to full, wounded conditions clear, 100% A-OK. He just looks at all of you and says, I don't know what it is that resides beneath our little town, but it is something truly, truly evil. His eyes lock onto all of you, and I do not use the word evil lightly.
Yeah, well,
I'm
stand off.
inclined to agree. This is.
Thumble first, please. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, at least it's turned off now.
So, shall we say then, while you were all being healed up and patched up, you've done the exposition of what you found down there?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, for time.
All right. Anything you want to leave out specifically, or you're telling all?
The part where we got our asses handed to it, because we have a reputation. So.
Oh, don't worry. You were dragged through the streets. Don't worry. The people know you got your butts handed to you.
My carefully cultivated reputation. No.
Okay.
Do we want to keep the part about the members of the Kaijitsu family to ourselves? Maybe tell the sheriff first?
I've got a feeling actually, and yeah, I'll actually rule this for the RP. I think the sheriff will be there with you. It's like he would have been one of the first people who would have been alerted. So I'm gonna say that Sheriff Hemlock is also there with you.
Didn't Sheriff Hemlock go riding to get aid?
Oh, you're right. He's not there. Thank you. He's not. In that case, it will be the Mayoress.
But before any of you viewers got it, we caught it. We caught the continuity.
So yes. So are you sharing? The Mayoress is there, and so is Abstalazantus. Are you sharing about the kaijitsus?
I can't see why not. I mean, if the well was affecting everyone, it would explain what's his name's actions.
On GQ.
Yeah, thank you. GQ's actions and him being persuaded more with Noalia's plans. So we could always check on him in the cells to see if his mentality has changed.
Well, Longiku is dead, but it's Suto who's still alive.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, all depends.
Well.
Yeah, all depends if they well influenced him, though. But I'll come back in with Kendra, who will turn around and say, in regards to all the information you share. So, looking at Thumble, what you are explaining is, even though the person has to have it there inside themselves to begin with, this well influenced them with so much wrath and rage that they simply chose to walk through the door in their minds to unspeakable things.
Something like that. It's hard to know without experiencing the full effects of it yourself, I suppose. And while I'm a scholar, I'm not that eager to uncover those particular mysteries.
And this has been happening to our town for the past... how long? So... are you... and I'm not trying to contradict you, Thumble, but are you certain, at least as much as you can be, that this well potentially influenced the Chopper and Longiku Kaijitsu?
I'd say probably.
So this well has been affecting our town for at least 5 years. 5 years of something this dangerous underneath our feet and we didn't even know it. She looks around at the new cathedral. I wonder if the same said influence is also responsible for this as well. I'm sorry, I know you're trying to recover, but considering the Dragonet got away, we now may be on a clock. A clock that may not be beaten by Sheriff Hemlock and his reinforcements. What is your plan? We need your help. This is beyond what little guard force we have left.
Yeah, we are in the cathedral, right?
Yes, but you're in a quiet little corner.
Targray is gonna excuse himself for a moment, go to his room. In the cathedral is the work spot. He's gonna go into a chest. He's gonna fetch a very specific bottle and some cups. The direness of the situation requires some blueberry wine.
Xantus looks at you, Xantus looks at you, Targray, and initially wants to be like, now is not the time, but then he thinks about it, and then thinks about what you've all gone through today, and nods, and it's just like, I think, yes, I concur. I think a drink for our heroes of Sandpoint here is in order first, Mayoress. And Kendra smiles. She goes, yes, of course. Sorry. I'm getting scared. I'm not going to lie.
Your worries are completely valid. But a little bit of celebration to keep up morale is, well, it keeps up morale. As Targray pours into the cups.
The Mayoress smiles. Well, you did shut that thing down, and that is something to celebrate. Seems like from what Thumble was saying, that thing's not going to turn back on, or at least not without some help. Although I do wonder what turned it on in the first place, even if it was 5 years ago.
I mean, potentially it was dormant for thousands of years. It just needed that one initial spark, which Thumble said it could potentially have been the chopper. So much sin in one person just lights it like a dim candle, and it then burns ever bright.
Xantus.
Could also be.
Oh, go on.
Could also be something connected to Lamass too. She was quite furious when I brought healing into the chamber, into the cathedral.
Xantus looks at this situation. You can tell he's just pondering it in his mind, and he says out loud, in fact, let's actually let's make this fair. Let's let the dice decide. Let's let the dice decide here. Here we go. Let's give him a religion check. Now he's higher level, so I'm going to make this to his level, which is DC 16. Okay, he fails it with a 14 total. So he turns round and he says, if influencing the town, its members. He shakes his head. When you are able to. We are on the clock, as the Mayoress said, but I think we need to speak to Hana.
Hana?
You learned about her before you went down into the underground catacombs. An eyewitness who basically worked with the cathedral people 5 years ago, who knew Noalia quite well, and basically may have some knowledge on Azaki and Tobin that other members of the town don't have. Basically trying to determine Noalia's motivations. You did, before going down into the catacombs, say you were going to speak with Hana and Xantus was going to go with you.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me. We don't really have much by way of leads right now.
Well, says the Mayoress, we do know that their base of operations, thanks to Suto's journal, is at Thistletop. It is a goblin stronghold that's not too far away from here. If you wish to know more about it, Shilelu Andasana, our local ranger, and as Belor calls her, unofficial guard member, she's at the Rusty Dragon, So if you want to learn more about Thistletop, speak to her first. But we do know that they're apparently held out there.
You're quite right. All the fuss and falling unconscious and stuff made it fall out me memory.
Now that the enemy is aware of our meddling, we might need to seize the initiative and be the vanguard.
Would you like to know mechanically what Illyrium getting away has done? Or do you want to let the story play out?
I'm happy for the story to play out on that one.
Yeah, that feels right to me.
All right.
Yeah,
All right then.
that's what I was.
All right. Awesome. So we'll find out through the story what Illyrium getting away has done. As we'll come back to Xantos, he will say, "We may not have much time then. I am sorry to ask this of you, but shall we speak with Hana this day?"
That would be wise. I mean, if I can make a suggestion for everyone. If we speak with Hannah, with your assistant's father, get as much information on Amalia as we can, then potentially recuperate some of our spent equipment, do a full rest so our casters can get their abilities back, and then head up to speak with names today. Chalilu of Thistletop, get the best lay of the land and see what we can do up there.
Yep, I reckon so. We might see if we can make any specific countermeasures against invisibility or anything, but I don't know anything off the top of my head.
Well, says the Mayoress, I can tell you one thing. Took me a little while, but I managed to acquire some cold iron weaponry. Literally came off the boat this day. Had to pay a pretty penny for it, but for our town's protection and defense, I think it was worth it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Just be aware though, I had to take it to the Red Dog Smithy, and well, you'll have a discount, but hold on, I'm trying to find his name.
Robert Smith.
No, people at Sandpoint. Oh no, wait a minute. Just do this, Mark. I did this. I put it into the scene notes. Red Dog Smithy. Let's see. It's named for the owner's affection for large red mastiffs, 2 or 3, which can always be found lounging about nearby. Red Dog Smithy is owned by a bald and powerfully muscled man by the name of Das Corvett. Now,
Mr. Trick not calling him Clifford.
now Das is interesting. The locals can know this already about him. He is a good smithy, but his temper is his claim to fame. He has little patience for customers and even less for everybody else. The town suffers his foul-mouthed attitude and drunken midnight rants because he really does know his job. And as long as he's working, he is relatively calm and confined to this city, the town, to his smithy. In fact, Das's temper is so famous around town, the kids actually sing a poem about him. Here comes crazy man Das Corvert, mad as a cut snake in a wagon rut. See how his chops go bouncy bounce. How many people has he trounced? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
So what you're saying is his temper is more equated to the forge than the quench.
He's probably got a level in Barbarian for sure.
Probably. But you did say that he drinks. I might have Targray might have a hook here.
But Kendra says, I've given him the cold iron, and he can fashion some cold iron weapons. Now, yes, he has his temper, but he also knows what's at stake here.
well, there's the outside chance that he's chilled out a little bit after their adventure down there.
Xantus says, oh no. If that well, as you called it, had any effect on Das Corvett, well, let's put it this way. If it was potentially 5 years ago when that thing flared to life, he's been a lot angrier since before then.
Fair enough.
Yes, he is rather, unfortunately, problematic, but as much as we hate it, we cannot deny he's a damn good smith. Those weapons this is how good he is. Instead of the 4 days worth of crafting, he can bang the most basic of weapons together in a day or 2 tops.
We will weather his verbal storms. We need to take the initiative. An angry smith is the least of our worries.
Oh yeah, Rudgar, you've dealt with him more than once, even back in the day and also more recent times, so you would be used to him, let's put it that way.
Yes, I figured, yeah.
You can probably melt down the
Mar.
Hold on.
dagger you got on.
Yep. But yeah, go on, Paz.
There's a question.
Yes.
Due to Targray being a cleric of Shaylin, and one of the areas of concern for Shaylin is art, and some consider smithying to be an art form.
A lot of Shaylin clerics are usually painters, but yes, smithing can fall under art. If you want to use your Shaylin lore, which concerns her areas of concern, in some form of check to potentially influence Das, you can do it. Maybe a slight increase in DC because it's not strictly traditional Shaylin art, but you can do it.
Fair enough. I was mainly just asked due to this little thing if it would be all right to have like a slightly bit, Targray has a slight rapport with it.
I'll tell you what then. Let's see. Are you trained in charisma? Like diplomacy? Are you diplomacy?
Yes, I am trained in diplomacy.
In that case then, use your diplomacy or Shaylin lore to make me an make an impression roll. And we'll see how you are with Das.
I will use the diplomacy.
Yes, because you have been in town for a couple of years. Good thinking, though. I'll give you a hero point back into the pool for that.
Appreciate it. Ooh, 18.
Okay. That's a success. So, Das is usually hostile to folks in town. No, unfriendly to folks in town. But with you, that will move you up the track by 1, so he's indifferent towards you. Doesn't like you, doesn't dislike you. Will have a drink with you as long as you're buying, sort of a deal.
I mean, that's fair. Like, he understands, like, from a theological point, I respect his craft.
Yes. If you want to put that oppression across to him, then yes, he does know you, even though it's not usual artistry. He can tell that you know metalwork and you appreciate metalwork. Hells, maybe even your appreciation for metalwork comes from the time before. Who knows? But, well, you do. But, yeah, you do have... He's technically, towards you, Targray, he's status indifferent.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright. What's the plan then, team?
So some of us go get the weapons, others go with Father Santos and Tom?
Well, they won't be ready today. The materials only just came in today, and Das is currently working overtime on them. They'll be ready in a day or two. Basically, mechanically, how that is going to work is technically you can buy a weapon, even do a potential rune transfer, and depending on the weapon is going to be depending on whether or not it's going to be a day or whether it's going to take 2. So, for example, Rudgar's Warhammer, if you wanted to make it a +1 Cold Iron Warhammer, it would probably take a day. If you wanted to make a +1 Great Axe, that will probably take 2.
I'm guessing then a glaive would take 2.
Two-handed weapon like that, yeah.
Well, theoretically, a glaive is just a mounted blade, so the blade itself should only take a day, and then it can be reattached.
Yeah, that's a point. Yeah, that's fair. It will vary depending on the weapon.
I mean, say if I give if we did split the party and I give someone my sword cane, he would have to detach the hilt and then make a take the measurements for the blade and then make a new blade to be fitted rather than have it covered.
I will say
that would probably take 2 days.
Yes, I will say the way it's going to work is because of allocation for the town. He doesn't have a whole lot of cold iron, but for allocation for the town, I'm going to say one of your weapons can be converted to cold iron. The rest is going to be allocated for the town.
Okay, so we will have one guaranteed cold iron weapon.
So, what's the battle plan?
Let's speak with. I'm guessing it's speak with Hannah first, and then go from there. More information, and then we can plan what we need before anything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan.
All
I
right.
reckon we go for the hammerhead. I think we go for Rudgar's weapon personally.
For the cold iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rudgar's going to be attacking every turn. You might need to use your turns to heal, is just my thought, personally.
Does make a lot of sense.
There's also the fact that I am all about buffing defense and healing.
That's true.
And also, I won't lie, Rudgar does have that he does have the best attack bonus.
Wait, the fighter has the best? What?
Funny how that
Really?
works.
What?
Yeah.
The what?
If I
Okay.
can make a quick suggestion then. As Rudgar was a former guard, he knows where Hannah's house is, correct?
He does, yes.
Yeah. So he can potentially split from the party, deal with the hammer request, and then the rest of us can go speak with Hannah with Xanthus.
Can I be plain about this? If I'm being honest, I would say for the power of good plot, I think all 4 of you should be there. And you'll be able to do a weapons requisition / order still today with plenty of time. You're not in active danger or an active emergency at this precise moment.
let's do.
One
Let's go
more
speak
quick
to Hannah.
idea then. One quick idea then. Sorry. If we get Kendra to put the order in for a Warhammer head, then all of us can go down to Hannah's, and then we can check back in with the smith when we're done.
Okay. If you wish, yeah, the mayoress will certainly do that for you. She'll turn around and she will say, now this is still Das we're dealing with. He is going to want money for the Warhammer. So to get it converted to cold iron, it's going to be half the cost of a Warhammer.
Right, how much is that?
Warhammer costs 1 gold, so 5 silver.
You know what? I'll chuck a 2 gold. Do a rush job.
That's not going to change it.
Nah,
That's already.
still.
Oh, okay. Okay, he will remember that then. So it will take a day to do a Warhammer, and that is doing it at a rush job. But yes, also if there's anything you want to deposit in the party stash, now is the time to do it. But
Oh yeah, we also
yes, Paz.
have gems in the party stash that could possibly use.
Yes, and gems will be sold for full price, but no need to do that strictly now. That's absolutely fine. There will be time to do that. Let's just hit this beat with Hannah and then perhaps get out of here for today because we are running out of time. Although I don't mean to rush you. So, down to Hannah.
So that's for, fast track to Hannah's.
Okay. So, the party are escorted by Rudgar and Father Xantus down to Hannah's clinic on the southern end of town, in the lower cliff half down by the Sandpoint shipyard, where the Voldemars primarily make their name and fortune as one of the 4 noble families of Sandpoint. Now, Hannah, let's see, I need to find her entry here. Unfortunately, there isn't a portrait of Hannah, at least not in the, not that I have. Here we go. So, you make your way down to Hannah's and you meet up with a female elven lady who has been here since the beginning. She is over a century in age herself, and while Father Xantus does his best to take care of Sandpoint's sick and needy, he just simply can't take care of anyone. So, for minor aches and pains and illnesses, most of Sandpoint citizens depend on Hannah. Her full name is Hannah Valerin, and she is an expert in medicine, and she is also a female elven cleric of Gosra. So, Hannah works with a lot of herbs. She does have some alchemy skills herself, and her home is also her shop, and she tends to medicines and patients here. Now, Hannah is also essentially the midwife of Sandpoint as well. That's another one of her roles. And so she is a very trusted member of the community, as quite frankly, delivering births is quite frankly a big part of this community, especially for a settlement that's just over 50 years old. So Hannah is held in quite high regard. As you open the door to her shop, it's 6 o'clock now, 6:05 when you get down there, and it does look like she's going to close up for the evening now, and she'll only open back up in case of emergencies. And she's very surprised to see the heroes of Sandpoint approach her shop. But she's then also even more surprised when she sees Avstala Xantus with you, and her face doesn't go into a scowl, but she definitely has some sort of an issue with Xantus. As she, however, warmly welcomes you and says, "Greetings. Wow. My goodness. Are you here for treatment, or has Father Xantus already taken care of you? Forgive me for those of you who do not know. Hannah Valerian at your service. What brings you esteemed heroes to my shop this day?"
Thank you for your hospitality, Hannah. Sorry to interrupt your closing up shop, but we actually need to ask you a few questions about Nualia. We understand you have had a long existing relationship with her in the times before when she was a face around town.
Yes, and her eyes once again shoot and directly look at Xantus before politely answering, wow, I haven't heard Nualia's name in quite some time, but yes, the long and short of it is I was her personal doctor. What would you like to know?
Well, as you may have heard some of the scuttlebutt around town, she has reappeared in rather worrisome fashion. She is leading a kind of conspiracy against the town. The recent goblin raids, and even events such as the Chopper, the reign of the Chopper, and the business with the Kaijitsu family all may be involved. I suppose we'd like to know where all this might have come from.
Hannah looks absolutely flabbergasted at you. She hasn't heard. Wait. Nualia's dead.
So we believed, yes. But, it seems death didn't stick.
She looks absolutely shocked. She even needs to take a seat, so she does. She sits down and she says, "Wait. Are you... Gosras, Nualia is alive and she's doing this to the town?"
It appears so.
Yes.
With the goblins and everything?
Yes. And she is not the same as you may remember.
Well, I shouldn't... And her professionalism breaks. Well, I shouldn't bloody think so, thanks to... Swear word incoming. I shouldn't bloody think so, thanks to his fucking teacher! And she points at Xantus. And Xantus is completely taken aback by this and quite aghast himself.
Could you elaborate on that little fact?
Oh. Sorry, forgive... She calms herself down. Forgive my outburst, but... And, Avstala... I don't hate you, but I hate the man that you aspire to, and this whole seeming town did not see it. And I told more than one people, no one believed me. If there's a reason why Nualia's got a grudge against this town, it's because of her adopted father, Ezekiel Tobin. Oh, everyone looked to him, light of the community, light of them. And don't get me wrong, despite my vitriol in my voice, he was a good man. But That's kind of the problem. My father, when he still lived, used to say, well, he was also a worshipper of Gosra too, and Gosra likes to stay, how they say, on the fence when it comes to things. He preferred it that
Neutral.
way. Yes, he preferred it that way because he turned around and he said, what is the problem that you have when you're either engulfed in darkness or you're engulfed in light? Hero point for anyone who can solve the riddle.
There's a shadow.
Okay.
So, shadow from Dave, what did you say, Paz?
Can you repeat it?
What is the problem when you're either engulfed in darkness or if you're engulfed in light?
Changed my mind. That's not the right answer.
You are unable to see.
Hero point back into the pool. Well done, Rudgar. She says, yes, you're blinded. And that was Ezekiel Tobin's problem. He was a good man, but he was so self-righteous, he was blinded by the light. He didn't look at Nualia as his daughter. He looked at Nualia as, I don't want to say a thing, but something beyond all of us. You see, Nualia was Nephilim, but Nephilims are still connected to their base ancestral kin. What I'm getting at there is, he only saw the Imperium blood. He didn't look at Nualia like a human girl. I used to... Nualia was looked at differently by the whole town. We never seen... I've met a Nephilim before, a long time ago when I was young, just a kid. But townsfolk like around here, it is a uncommon sight. So they treated her like a reverse deformity, asked her to make her the most gross requests. The kids, her fellow children her age, was jealous of her. Although ironically, two of her best friends in town were actually, well, I'm a few years older obviously, but I always got on well with her, and she actually got on well with the Vinder sisters and those who reside in the House of Blue Stones. But Ezekiel didn't treat her like a human being at all. When Nualia, or as it turns out, died, she was only 18 years old. And, well, I had to... Obviously, I was her doctor, but I had to basically teach her what was happening to her as she was going through her puberty. None of the... Ezekiel didn't explain that, and nor did none of the staff at the cathedral. He forbade it. He just looked at her as a holy, sanctified creature that he wanted just to basically train her and then ship her off to a prestigious convent in order to raise his own stature with Desna. And again, it wasn't for any selfish gain. It was purely based off the mindset that he believed it was the right thing to do. The poor girl had no life. His successor, once again pointing at Xanthus, was a woman by the name of Zelana, a Varisian woman. She was Tobin's next student. Zalana knew the truth as well as I did. And she got so fed up with Tobin that there was literally a big argument and a big fight, and she left Sandpoint a few months before the cathedral fire. And the reason why she left was because the straw broke the camel's back. You see, Nualia entered a relationship with a young Varisian boy who used to live here in town. Doesn't anymore, but there was a boy here who was the same age of Nualia, 18 years old. And what was his name again? Oh, I only met him a few times. Delic. That was his name. His name was Delic Biscanta. Due to being so confined, she basically fell into his arms. But unfortunately for Nualia, the relationship didn't last. He was, unfortunately, one of the... Varisians have a bad reputation. Some of it deserves, some of it not. Some of it deserves, some of it not. Mostly not. But unfortunately, he was one of the type where the reputation was well deserved. Basically, after, well, getting what he wanted out of a relationship, he dumped her and left for Magnamar. But this is where things get crazy, because, sad to say, that sort of thing does happen in young love. But when Zakian found out about the relationship, he confined Nualia to her quarters. She wasn't allowed to leave the cathedral. She had to pray to Desna several times today to repent for forgiveness, for having a relationship, for being human, for allowing to be a teenage girl. And Zalana snapped. Go ahead, Thumble.
But one of our Desna's edicts. Find what life has to offer. You weren't very good priest, even.
Azakian believed that she was above the edicts. This is what I mean. He thought of his own adopted daughter as something beyond.
If I may, a quick just thing from Targray is a thud as he smacks his fist against the wall.
Xantus just looks absolutely white and in shock. He did not know this about his teacher, and Hannah goes to fire another look at him, but then the look breaks because even she believes and sees firsthand that no, he had no clue about this, and that's what she says next. You really had no clue, didn't you? He may have been alright with you and Zalana, but he thought of his own daughter as something more than a student, something beyond any of us, someone who was so much purer than us that she was beyond us, to the point where she wasn't even allowed to be a young woman.
Divine to be judged by mortal rules.
I suppose so. All of this as well got too much for her. Zalana stormed off just after the relationship with Delic broke. And then, a few months later, she collapsed, unconscious, due to everything that happened. She just passed right out and slipped into a coma. Then the cathedral fire happened, and we figured we'd lost her. Xantus speaks up. And then all of a sudden, Zolana returns to our town as a Horexin, with so much rage and anger at our teacher that it struck Father Targray down. A well underneath town that induced wrath. I think I now understand and realize that the reason why Noalia survived the cathedral fire is... I think she's the one who started it. And that's where we'll pick it up next time on Rise of the Remaster.